television talk show.
Will you come back? Welcome to Smiles Television Talk Show. I'm your host, Stephanie Anthony Miles, and thank you for tuning in another Monday at 8 o'clock p.m. on Charter Cable Channel 984. We have a different kind of broadcast for you today. We're going to bring to you some national figures, some local figures, and some students from East St. Louis, Illinois. We had what was called a National Day of Service, and some activities went on that you really need to take a look at. Don't go away, and remember that if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. Jesus Christ was born of a virgin. He was crucified and buried, and he rose on the third day. Confess it and believe it. And stay tuned for more smiles.
Every day, millions of people suffer from poverty right here in America. But passionate people like you can do something about it. Join VISTA, the AmeriCorps program that fights poverty. You can teach teens how to mentor children at risk, recruit volunteers to feed the hungry, help homeless veterans find shelter and employment, or set up health and medical benefits programs. Right now, AmeriCorps VISTA has more than 6,500 opportunities for you to help fight poverty. Go to AmeriCorps.gov or call 800-942-2677 to find out if VISTA is right for you.
Welcome back to Smiles Television Talk Show. Thank you for staying tuned. You know what? April 5th was National Service Day. It was a day that people who render service were given honor. Just do honor. I am also an AmeriCorps VISTA. AmeriCorps VISTAs are volunteers in service to America. You've heard of the Peace Corps? Well, AmeriCorps is like the Peace Corps, but in the United States. We try to help lift people out of poverty and set pathways for a better life. The other day, we had our national director here of AmeriCorps VISTA, Mr. Max Finberg. That's right, he came here from Washington, D.C., and he told us he had just finished meeting with the president. You're going to hear or see a clip from him a little bit later in the broadcast. But right now, we're going to go to some scenes of the broadcast, and you'll get an opportunity to get a taste of what National Service Day is all about. Just take a look. Thank you, Superintendent Arthur Culver, to all of our assistant superintendents, school board members, the financial oversight panel, my immediate supervisor, Sydney Kaufman and Flora Rowder, and a special thanks to Mr. Marcus Wright, principal of ESL Senior High School, the entire CTE department, especially Ms. Deborah Humphrey-Morgan and Mr. Lockett and the great students who have a special treat for you today. The Corporation for National Community Service, Serve Illinois Commission, the National AmeriCorps and VISTA members, my team members, and at this time I would like to give special acknowledgments to Ms. Deborah Moody Graham, who is a VISTA member, Zarina Ann Brown, Anitra Dorsey, and Snobia Barnes. We are the VISTA team, Volunteers in Service to America. You know what, I have a piece here that I want you to be familiar with. Did you know that President Kennedy introduced the idea of VISTA to Congress in 1963? Many of our best-known anti-poverty programs, including Head Start, the credit unions, were all expanded by VISTA, Volunteers in Service to America. VISTA has been a vital part of our community for a long time now. AmeriCorps has been a vital part of our communities for a long time now. And we are privileged and honored to have with us today the director of AmeriCorps VISTA, Mr. Max Finberg. Yes, indeed. He came all the way from Washington, D.C., and we have some clips of him speaking at East St. Louis Senior High School right now.
Now it is my incredible honor to introduce our next guest, Max Finberg. I've been calling you Finberg. So Max Finberg has dedicated his career to serving others and has worked in capacities that range from serving as the senior advisor to the assistant secretary at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the senior policy advisor within President Obama's Domestic Policy Council, to the director of the Alliance to End Hunger, and played an instrumental role in the successful passage of the Hunger Relief Act and Community Solutions Act. Currently, Mr. Finberg is the director of AmeriCorps VISTA. As a previous two-term VISTA, I can honestly say with no shame that I was a little starstruck when I heard that Mr. Finberg was coming to our event. I never thought that I would get the opportunity to meet the director of AmeriCorps VISTA. AmeriCorps VISTA is a federally funded program that focuses on anti-poverty. It was established in 1965 and today more than 7,700 VISTAs are serving within 2,700 sites throughout the nation. The VISTA program strives to build capacities within nonprofits, tribal, and local governments to break the cycle of poverty and create new opportunities for communities. I am very proud to have served as an AmeriCorps VISTA, and it is my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Max Finberg, the director of the AmeriCorps VISTA program.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Michaela, I'm going to need to get your autograph on this afterwards, if that's okay. But thank you, Sarah, for that, and thank you all for inviting me. I am very, very excited as I have the privilege and pleasure of directing this 50-year-old national service program that provides the domestic Peace Corps. And I got my start, my career started a while back as a VISTA supervisor, very similar to Sarah's role and what she gets to do now. So getting to see the good work that's happening all over the country from AmeriCorps members is a treat and a privilege. I have come all the way from Washington, D.C. to say thank you. And I wanted to start with saying thank you, Mayor Rodgers, for being here, for Mayor Bush for representing, and for the other mayors who weren't able to join. But this is a wonderful tribute to the good stuff that's happening in East St. Louis. That's exactly right. So I'm here all the way from our nation's capital to say thank you. Say thank you to the local officials, superintendent, and the principal, and the teachers, to hear the good work, the investment that's going into the students is something I wanted to come and say thank you for. To recognize the great work that AmeriCorps members are doing is another big part of it. Of my colleagues, John, who's taking my picture now, and Scott, who do a great job in making sure that the resources we have to offer happen here in Illinois. And so it's great, but again, to be able to be with and have the opportunity on behalf of not just the director of AmeriCorps VISTA, but the whole Corporation for National and Community Service, our CEO, who's doing this same exact thing down the road in Little Rock and then going to Memphis. We have folks all over doing this. I wanted to come here especially to say thank you. So, today is a special day, not just because we made a banner about it, but as you heard, the number even went up. There are more than 3,500 elected officials of all stripes, mayors of cities, county officials of rural areas, tribal chairmen and tribal leaders of Native American tribes who have set aside this day to say thank you to the folks who are serving as AmeriCorps members and as Senior Corps members. So, all around the country, we have more than 50,000 sites all around the country where folks are serving, giving back to their communities, doing amazing stuff. So with AmeriCorps, both AmeriCorps VISTA as well as AmeriCorps State and National, and then we got a National Civilian Community Corps as well as part of AmeriCorps, there are almost 75,000 folks that don't look nearly as good as these folks in blue, but are there, serving, finding ways of helping kids graduate, getting them ready to succeed, making sure that people have houses that they can live in, making sure that folks coming out of prison get a second chance. All of those things are the work that we get to do all around the country. As Scott shared with me, here in the state of Illinois, the second biggest investment we have outside of Chicago is right here in East St. Louis. That is impressive. This is one of only a handful of places in the entire country that has an Operation AmeriCorps grant. And that means that we have our regular AmeriCorps folks working alongside of our VISTAs, working alongside of our Senior Corps folks, all coming together to say, together, we're stronger than we would be on our own. We can make a better difference, a bigger difference, by doing it that way. So, more than $2 million of federal investment is coming into East St. Louis through that, but that's being matched by more than $1.2 million of your own money, local money that's being matched. So $3 million supports 250 AmeriCorps members of all stripes, and more than 300 Senior Corps folks, right here in East St. Louis. So today is a special day to acknowledge and recognize the good stuff that's going on. And so I just wanted to wrap up with 3 tales. So I got my thanks in, I got my today, talking about today, and three quick stories. Yesterday, I was at the White House, and I got to be with the President of the United States of America. Barack Obama was there with Joe Biden as Vice President, with no TV cameras, nobody watching, and he was there saying thank you to some wounded warriors. And I was there to also say thank you and to give them awards for answering the call to service. You know how Dr. King talked about being a drum major for justice? So they're drum major for service awards, and this was the President's Volunteer Service Lifetime Achievement Award. So one of the women there was Francesca. Francesca had served for 3 tours of duty in Iraq, 3 tours of duty in Afghanistan, and had come back with a hole in her chest, literally. So seeing her bandage there, having her talk a little about that, was powerful. And the President was there, made time in his busy schedule to say thank you. And if the President of the United States could do that, then that's something that we can all do. Whether it's saying thank you for somebody who serves us, serving us lunch down at Old Melvin's, or at the grocery store, wherever it may be, we can all say thank you for serving. So I wanted to share that because if the President could clone himself, he would probably be here in East St. Louis saying thank you. And the second story was last week I was in Baltimore. Next week is the 1-year anniversary of the arrest of Freddie Gray. And there was a guy by the name of Richard who was a fellow AmeriCorps VISTA, gotten out of prison, wondering what he was going to do because he couldn't get a job as someone re-entering society. And so he signed up to be a VISTA for the summer. And then he got hired on for the year. And now you know what? Now he's giving back just like you're giving back. And he's helping young kids and students say, that's not the right path that I went down. Let me share my story so you don't have to repeat it. And Richard is doing amazing stuff thanks to AmeriCorps, and he's giving back to the community in Baltimore where he grew up. And lastly, I wanted to share about my own grandma. I was visiting her last weekend. She's about to turn 95 and just had a stroke and is in a nursing home and not doing so well. But before that, she would volunteer too. And so she, like so many of our senior citizens, are also giving back. So you might have seen the video of Grandma Virginia. She's 106 years old and she was dancing with the President and the First Lady. You saw that? Well, Roger saw that. If you haven't seen that, you better check it out because it's amazing. She just turned 107. She's a foster grandparent through our Senior Corps, and she's still giving back. She's working with students to help them read better. She's setting them on the right path. And so I wanted to share, if Grandma Virginia can do it at 107, we can all do it. So, with that, I wanted to end as I started by saying thank you. Thank you to this community that is doing some great stuff for its residents. Thank you for all of the folks who've come together to make that possible, and a special thanks to the AmeriCorps members, to the AmeriCorps VISTA members, to the Senior Corps members for helping make it all work. So, thank you very, very much.
It's important to serve. You know what? The Bible even teaches that the greatest among thee will be your servant of all. During National Service Day activities, we had students involved, we had local mayors involved, and we were really, really pleased to have the pleasure of talking with and listening to the mayor from Washington Park, Illinois. She gave us some great insights, and I just want to share with you a little bit of what she shared with us on April 5th, which was National Service Day. Mayor Angie Rodgers from Washington Park, Illinois.
I guess I'll pull this up a little bit because I'm a little tall, as you see. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to be here. I definitely want to acknowledge, as far as AmeriCorps and the VISTA members, but at the same token, Mrs. Stephanie Miles, I have to tell you that, when I would actually say that, when I would say very nice aggressive, I would say that, Stephanie, because when I say that you had emailed me, you called me, you texted me, you emailed me, you called me, and you text me to be here. And with all of that being said, I do understand as a mayor that there's a lot of things that actually comes up day to day, last minute, and things of that nature. As a mayor, I do get a chance to actually see always the parents and things of that nature, but I don't get a chance to see one-on-one all the time my students. So with that being said, it is a privilege and it is an honor to honor you this afternoon and stand here as your mayor today and say, hey, congratulations to you on a well thought out speech that you gave. And then with that actually being said, I'm going to ask you to move forward because you stated in your, you stated that, hey, how you felt. You stated that what was actually needed with AmeriCorps. And also with Stephanie giving me an email, when she sent me an email, she said, hey, I just wanted to know how have AmeriCorps VISTA affected Washington Park. When you say affect in a good way, and the students that is actually from Washington Park, that when you're talking about helping with homework, you're talking about the representatives, you're talking about the volunteers, you're talking about, hey, what did they do? They came by way of Trinity, by way of course, thanks to Mr. Bill Creep, Leslie Bates, Trinity, the library, we all work together in Washington Park. So with that actually being said, what did they do? So let me tell you, I don't care if you just stop by there to say hi to the kids. I really don't care if you just stop by and just say, hey, what do you need? How can I help you with your homework? Being some of those volunteers and the AmeriCorps reps and the volunteers, they even stopped by some of our schools as well. They checked on the students. So with that actually being said, I want to say thank you to AmeriCorps, to the VISTA.
That was Mayor Angie Rodgers from Washington Park, Illinois. It's great when we can have 7th graders to be willing to come before an audience and read their essay. I want to thank Michaela Hines and all of those AmeriCorps workers who helped her. And we just think that she did a great job. We're really, really thrilled with the work Michaela Hines did. Each mayor in the district of School District 189 gave a proclamation in honor of Mayor and County National Recognition Day. We want to thank them. Also, we had some students who built a bench. Yes, they actually built this bench in our CPE department under the direction of Mr. Michael Jackson. And I want you to take a look at this and also give special thanks to Miss Deborah Humphrey Morgan, who's actually my sorority sister. Take a look.
It's like the A for adventures.
are superheroes to some of our students. Thank you again so much for your hard work in welding this bench that will serve as a dedication for Operation AmeriCorps and all the work that they have done within School District 189. Thank you again. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And it is my great pleasure to introduce Superintendent Arthur Kober, who will deliver our closing remarks.
Thank you, Sarah. And the mayor, wow, that was some very encouraging, motivational words from both of you, Mayor Bush and Mayor Rodgers. We thank you. I also want to acknowledge I have one of my board members here, Antonia Ingram, Mrs. Antonia Ingram. Let's give her a round of applause. Because without the board's support, we wouldn't be here, because there had to be a district match. And of course, everyone knows that we struggle with our finances here in East St. Louis. I tell you, this is just a great day and a great reason to be here to celebrate a day of recognition for national service. And, you know, young people, those of you that are working with AmeriCorps, I know for sure you don't realize the impact that you're having on our youth. It is really nothing I could say briefly or in many words that will reveal that to you. But trust me, the best exercise that one can get is to reach down or reach across and help someone else and lift someone else up. And that's what you're doing. Because you know and I know that a lot of our students are met with a lot of difficulty before they come to us. You're out there in the community with them. You know that there are a lot of obstacles that they have to overcome. There is. But, you know, because of encouragement and guidance and direction from people like you are, they're doing so much better. I truly believe, matter of fact, I know for certain that our kids were born to win, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness.
I know this has been a very different Smiles television talk show, but we thought it was important for you to get an opportunity to see some of the service that's going on right here in East St. Louis, Illinois. You know, I also want to thank Ms. Sydney Kaufman, Sarah Ryder, and all of the AmeriCorps and VISTA workers. You know, there's a team of excellent workers that you need to know about. We have a Ms. Simone who's working very hard as a curriculum specialist in East St. Louis, Illinois. We have Zarina Ann Brown, and she's also a curriculum specialist in the city. Devin Moody Graham. Devin, a lot of you already know Devin, but Devin is a Pathway Sustainable Coordinator for East Side Works in East St. Louis, Illinois. We also have Anitra Dorsey. She's a curriculum specialist. And when I'm not doing Smiles Television Talk Show, I'm also a Pathway Sustainability Coordinator with East Side Works. Now, that's something we haven't talked about. East Side Works is a movement in East St. Louis, Illinois. And what we do is connect students with employers across actually the country. But we're starting off locally, and we're starting off in the CTE department, and we are trying to make pathways for our students so they can have lasting careers. We're going to talk a little bit more about that on another broadcast, but thank you for tuning in to Smiles Television Talk Show. Tune in every Monday at 8 o'clock p.m. on Charter Cable Channel 984. And remember, only what you do for Christ will last. Keep smiling. You look better when you smile, and be the reason someone smiles today.